Hey fam, Burpees for Vets, Impact Advisor, Randy Salazar, CEO and co-founder of Mission Ladder Workforce Consulting Firm. I had the privilege and honor of serving in the 82nd Airborne Division, all the way Airborne H-, and as a U.S. Army Green Beret. Now we're here to talk about workforce development, and I'm excited about that. As I sit here today, an entrepreneur, a business owner, living my best life, it didn't always start out that easy for me in my transition. In 2014, I separated from the military with a top secret security clearance, an associate's degree, working towards my bachelor's degree, and over 10 years of communications and intelligence experience. I went to professional resume writer. I had one resume written up. I sent that one resume out to over 200 employers. 0 human beings ever reached out to me. And I sit and I laugh. It's not funny, but I laugh because I know there are many other service members, veterans who have done or are doing the same exact thing that I did. I always like to tell our military community, I understand that once upon a time we all thought we were going to be Jason Bourne. But as I sit here, and if you're listening, it didn't happen. So there's certain key steps that we need to do to help ensure that we have that successful transition, not only back into society from a social perspective, but also from a workforce development or economic perspective. And some of those key things are linking up with the right resources to help ensure that we have a LinkedIn and that we're networking. According to Pew Research, over half of the veterans who served after 9/11 are having a hard time transitioning back into the workforce. And there is a great emphasis placed on hard skill translation. But I want to take this conversation further than hard skill translation. What do we do when that transitioning service member or veteran doesn't want to do the same exact job they just did in the military? What do we do when there isn't an opportunity for them to leverage their hard skills outside of the defense industry and they don't want to work in the defense industry? What do we do when those hard skills just aren't the right fit for the geographical location where that transitioning service member or veteran wants to live or is currently living? These are the questions I've asked myself time and time again as I've spent the last few years of my life in workforce development. And what do? We collaborate. We mix the government resources with the nonprofits. We overlay resources, just like in the military. Now that we're transitioning out, we need to do the same. But we do need to tap into those resources to help us to translate those hard skills so that we understand what economic value that experience brings to the current workforce. If the market's asking for software engineers, and that's something that we think we want to do, well, the military doesn't make software engineers. So what do I need to do to shore up that weakness? Just like in the military, we have to go to schools, we have to go to training, we have to do continuing education to advance and be successful. The same applies in the private sector or in the workforce after military service. For transitioning service members and veterans, again, it is imperative that we translate those skills, that we can speak as an individual. I come from a community where we don't talk about individual accolades. It's always the team or the unit. But now as a civilian, you have to speak on yourself as an individual and what you individually contributed to that team or unit success. We have to upskill, tap into resources like Onward Opportunity. It provides no cost certifications for transitioning service members, veterans, spouses, guard, reserves. Workforce development, rightfully so, continues to put a strong emphasis on recruiting and hiring our transitioning service members and our veterans. But we're also in a period of transformation. We want to not just recruit individuals and hire them, but we want to know what we need to do to grow them, mentor them, and retain them over the long run. That's why I started my firm. I want to help ensure that those who serve in the military are retained and stay connected to that new culture and they thrive. They understand the need for professional development and growth. In closing, workforce development takes all of us. We want to guide our military-connected people to the right resources at the right time. We want to ensure they're getting access to resources that help them to not only translate, but then also to upskill, to fill any gaps that they may have, and for them to have a realistic expectation and understanding of where they're going to fit at within the workforce. And then once they're hired, we want to ensure retention through providing mentorship opportunities and growth opportunities that will lead to their professional growth and development, and ultimately their success in society after service.